Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. This is episode 41. I'm your host, Thaddeus. Shout out to our producer, boy band John. What's up, John? All right. Shout out to our sponsors. Same thing every week. You use promo code ATBPod upon checkout and you'll receive 15% off all your purchase order. First off, defendhawaii.com. Promo code ATBPod, 15% off your entire order. Hawaii Candy Factory, same thing, ATB pod upon checkout. We had these unreal candies, noms. They have like the best lihimui and sour patch. It's unreal. My daughter loves all this stuff. Promo code ATP pod, and last but not least, Detail Garage Hawaii. If you gotta wax your car, you can get whatever you need from them. DetailGarageHawaii.com, ATB pod upon checkout. 15% off your entire purchase order. Okay, so me and John are fanboys for this dude, and I'm super honored to have this guy on my show. I've watched him when I was young, growing up, and I'm gonna be really honest with you. The Hawaii MMA scene wouldn't be what it is today if without this person, and he put Hawaii on the map, or was one of the people that pioneered this sport in Hawaii. My guest today is none other than Wesley Cabbage Correira. What's up, brother?
What's up? How you doing tonight?
I'm stoked, bro. I'm super happy that you came on, man. This is super cool.
Automatic.
When I was young, bro, I always wanted to ask you this question, and you probably got it a million times, is how did you get your nickname?
So my nickname Cabbage came from a few of my friends in intermediate school. I was super short growing up through high school. Even like when I graduated high school, I was only like 5'7", 5'8".
Okay, wait, right. You cannot say you super short at 5'7", because that's still taller than me, bro.
No, but sorry, at my height now, you know what I mean? Like, so I was 5'7", 5'8" when I graduated high school, and after high school, I shot up. You know what I mean? But during high school, I had bushy hair. I was shorter, so I looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Oh. So that nickname just started sticking with me because I looked like a Cabbage Patch, because I had curly hair. You know what I mean? I had short curly hair. I looked just like a Cabbage Patch Kid. So that nickname just stuck with me all the way through. And I was like, hey, you know what? Embrace it, you know?
That's kind of a cool story. I always wondered. I was like, so it had nothing to do with any fighting or anything like that.
No, that's why like a couple of times when I fought in the UFC, I came over on Cabbage Patch Kid that one of my friends that used to train with me at Grappling Unlimited gave to me right before I fought.
I remember.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. How did you even get into fighting? Because you grew up Hilo?
Yeah, so I grew up Hilo. My background is judo. I get my brown belt in judo. I did judo all the way till I was like 9th grade in high school. And then I started boxing after that. And then after high school, like I was supposed to go Coast Guard, but I scored high on the ASVAB. I was supposed to be on medic for Coast Guard, but because I was only 5 pounds overweight, they never like take me. So I ended up training MMA. And then I started loving it. I started fighting. Then guess who calls my phone now? The Coast Guard. Hey, we seen you. Would you like to come back? I'm like, I think I found a new career. You know what I mean? I was like, I tried to give you guys that chance, but you guys said you guys was 5 pounds overweight. I said I lost that basic training, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're training. You started training in Hilo.
Yeah, I started training in Hilo. I did all my boxing in Hilo and everything. And then I did my first 2 fights was under a Westbrook Productions in Kona. Was my first 2 fights ever. And then I wanted to fight more. So in order to expand my career, I ended up contacting Egan Inoue. And then he was like, oh, you know, we're going to have open gym tryouts on this date. If you come up, you know, we're going to do this and that. So I flew up, I paid for my own ticket, went up there on my own. I was my one loner from Hilo. I went up there by myself. You know what I mean? They made me fight this pro boxer, Tali Kuhalapai. He used to fight for Grappling Unlimited. He had on record before. And I never know too much boxing. Like this guy was a pro boxer. I went and sat there and I took him down. I beat him up. I kept on beating him up. You know what I mean? And they was like, oh, who's this kid, you know? And from that point on, Egan guys signed me up. And I started training and fighting for Egan. And then they set up that
when you went there, how old were you?
When I started fighting for Egan, I think I was like 21, 22.
And that's what, like late 90s, huh?
Early
2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s. And I
his first gym was what, by the airport or something like that?
Halava Valley.
Oh, Halava.
Yeah, so once I started training for them, I started living in that gym. Like, I used to take cold showers outside in the alleyway with a water hose, you know. After I used to power train, I used to wait for everybody to leave, and I used to take a shower with the water hose and go upstairs. I had one little like was an office that they never really make into an office and had on bed. So I used to just crash out up there because I never have no money, never have nothing. I just wanted to fight, you know. So I started staying up there training, and then things started looking better. Then I started fighting for Super Brawl. I got signed to Super Brawl, fought a couple like low shows, and it started building up from there. You know what I mean? And people started liking me.
Yeah, Super Brawl. That's what TJ. What was his name? TJ. That was Thompson. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it wasn't for. I gotta admit, TJ Thompson was the pioneer of bringing MMA to Hawaii itself. It wasn't for TJ. Like, none of these other promoters would have been able to do what they did now. You know,
yeah.
TJ Thompson is the first guy to bring MMA to here, and like I give him so much thanks. Like, because if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have opened doors for me to go to UFC, for me to go to K1. You know, I would have probably been stuck just doing local shows. You know.
Yeah.
But because he had all those connections, and he used to invite Dana White to come watch fights, and he used to get guys from Miletech's school to come down, that they had hookups in the UFC, that, you know, everything worked out pretty good in that little universe in Honolulu.
Yeah, and Super Brawl was such a big thing. I remember like Blaze that would be sold out. It was like when you guys used to fight, like back then MMA was unreal, and it was beneficial to the fans because like you could fight UFC and then come back fight Super Brawl. You wasn't just signed to an organization, and you know what I mean? Like Hawaii fighters, they could get built up and still come back and fight in Hawaii.
Yeah,
so,
they could still come back and fight. And the Blades used to get super sold out. I remember like always used to be the ballers used to have like the first 6 rows over there. You used to see all the guys with chains, you know, everybody all in like the first 6 rows of around the whole ring, and then after the whole thing filled though. Was crazy. You used to have moments where that place was sold out.
Yep. I got to experience it. I seen like you fight Nico. I seen like Egan. It was just my one of somebody I knew from Kaneohe used to fight Planius guy. Oh, he went to Grappling Unlimited, Kolo Koka. Yeah, Kolo Tao.
Kolo.
Yeah. He used to train Grappling Unlimited, but we'd watch him fight because he's from Kaneohe, and the Blaisdell would just it would be so much energy, and like anytime local boys fight mainland guys, it was just
and I used to like that too, because TJ used to make it Hawaii versus the mainland. Not like how some of these promoters, like they make a Maui versus Big Island or Honolulu versus Maui, where you don't like the local guys keep on fighting each other. You like them expand and go fight other people, you know what I mean? Show them what Hawaii get for offer, you know, like how TJ was with us, you know. Like if they did that, if they took some pointers from TJ Thompson, I bet if they asked him, he probably would be like, hey, yeah, I could tell you some stuff what to do, you know. But if they made it like how it was before, Hawaii versus the mainland, when fighting starts taking back up again in Hawaii after this whole COVID bullshit, you know, then maybe we do Hawaii versus the mainland again, start doing those things and just start building up the local fighters, just build them up to give them a platform so they can take future on with their career, you know, instead of staying stuck here, not being able to make anything, like barely going from fight to fight. You know, they still got to keep a 9-to-5 job to even pay for a training camp, you know? Compared to in the mainland where they get sponsored, they get paid, and their job is to train and fight, you know?
Yeah. And the local shows too nowadays, it's because we help with Destiny and stuff like that. And majority of the fans is just friends and family of who's ever fighting, and they just watch the whole show. But like how it is now, like once a fighter gets some notability and recognition and stuff like that, they get swooped up or taken to Bellator or UFC, and then you know what I mean, it's hard for a local fight brand to get successful by marketing a certain fighter, because you know they're gonna get signed, you know what I mean?
But it's always good, like the promoters, one good promoter, they always look for the outcome of the fighter too, you know what I mean? Because we making the promoter a lot of money, you know what I mean, when we fighting for them. So when promoters look out for you and like they want to expand your career, that's the kind of promoters that you want. But like I see where you're coming from, where like they try to build up the stuff and they're like, oh, this guy can go Bellator, so I don't like really build this kind of kids up anymore. But you need to do that in order to get good people to come in and watch. You gotta hype the fights up, you know what I mean? You gotta have exciting fights. You can't have lazy fights where guys are gonna lay on top of each other. Like Super Brawl was banging. Guys used to just go and say that bang, you know what I mean? scrap us. Remember the time Kaleo Padilla fought Anthony Torres from Grappling Unlimited,
Oh,
and
yeah,
the whole
yeah.
crowd got maced because the following jump in the ring. You know what
Yo.
I mean? Like that's the
But-
kind of crazy shit that had happening back in the day
Well,
in Honolulu with the Blaisdell.
Nico's sister, I would go try hit Lawler. You remember that one?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, Nico's sister would try to hit Lawler out of the ring. Like, oh, had all
She'd
kinds
run
of
in the
stuff
ring.
happening,
Yeah.
you know? Then had action in the stands one time with Mark Coleman in the stands one time. Punch him or something. I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, Super Brawl. You go Super Brawl. You got to bring Mount Peaceful watch.
Right? You just gotta knock more piece in your back pocket. You know what I mean? But then the best times was like after Super Brawl when you go out and then you just see the love for people that just was there for watch you fight. You know what I mean? They just hey. Oh, you get fucking free drinks all night long. You know, you end up getting caught going home. You know?
Bruh, I remember
like going to like the night. I remember going to like the
like,
nightclubs and then waiting in line and then the manager coming out and being like, how long you was waiting in line? Oh, like 15 minutes. They pull us out of line, make us go and set us up, like comp us a couple bottles. He's like, you don't make this guy wait in line. I was like, I used to feel fucking good, but never did bring me down from who I was. You know what I mean? I was always just this person that like I was like, I never got the inflated head, even though my head was big from fighting because I had a big head. You know what I mean? My ego never did get boosted. My ego was never big. I was always the same old person that I was before I even got famous. You know?
Yeah, and
that's I was still going to the hoods like from in Hilo. I'd go down to Hilo, go chill with my homies down there in like the low income housing. You know, when I was fighting in the UFC, I still go down there, go chill out with my friends. You know, like go touch base. All the kids used to be all stoked, like, oh my god, he's Cabbage is over here. You know what I mean?
That's kind of cool. And like growing up in Hawaii, that kind of recognition, like people always like to support. So it's like, oh, you must have been pretty, especially coming from Hilo, bro. You must have been recognized everywhere you went. You know what I mean?
Yeah, choke times, and then choke times you get the plenty of people like, oh, no can get tickets.
Oh yeah.
Well, no can give me a couple tickets.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Oh, you go fight UFC? Yeah.
Like
so you go ahead, bro.
No, you.
So you fought any amateur fights first and then kind of went up to pro, or you just went straight into the big show?
I fought one amateur fight first in Kona. My first amateur fight was against Garrett Barnes when I was like 19 years old and he was like 30 something years old. And I beat him up. And then after that, my second fight for Sonny Westbrook production, I fought one so-called claimed black belt. He was on Brazilian black belt, but I think he was more like a blue belt. He bought his black belt from like the store. Because like when I trained him after I beat him up, like I fucked him up in the fight. Like his mom tried to jump in the ring and everything. The ref like tried to stop the fight because I took him down, mounted him because I hit him with a left hook. He dropped. I mounted him, started pounding him. The ref stopped the fight because they wanted for standing back up. And then I had Chiruto, my Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. They all started grumbling like, how you gonna fucking restart the fight? He was in a good position. So I ended up restarting the fight in the same position. I only punched the guy like 3 more times. The mom tried to jump in the ring, swinging her purse. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Hawaii fights is like you gotta be on a swivel even if you winning.
Yeah, especially if you're walking out of the ring afterwards. You know, somebody might take a swing at you, one of the family members. You know, that's why good at Super Brawl. When you come out, you go into the wrap back, so you stay out of the way from the people.
Oh yeah. I remember the first time I seen you fight was against Marcelo Tiger. Was at Super Brawl, and I remember because we were like we wasn't ballers, so we was in the rafters, but I remember just watching you fight, and I was like, "Oh, this guy is busting this dude up," and like you just kept coming, like it was, and it was like the first time I ever heard of who you were. I was young, and I was just like, "Oh!" From that moment on, bro, I was like, I was on fan, and I remember the guy had to disqualify himself. He headbutt you out or something like that.
Yeah,
because you was licking him, and he was like he couldn't stop you from coming forward, and I was like, "Bro, this is the kind fighters I like to watch." And from then on we followed your career, but that was like kind of your coming out fight, right? Or at least for the mainstream of Hawaii.
That was like my coming out, like for like the big show parts, you know what I mean? And like because everybody was picking me, they was trying to set up a rematch between him and Egan, huh?
Yeah.
So they was trying to set him up, and so TJ actually was setting up the fight because they thought I was going to lose. But then when TJ was coming to the gym, he was telling Egan like, "Hey, I don't think you're gonna get your rematch. This fucking Cabbage is pretty tough. Like he's because I was training like 2-3 times a day over there. You know what I mean? At Grappling Unlimited because I was living in the gym.
Oh yeah.
So I used to train 2-3 times a day, and then so when I when I beat him up, and then afterwards, after I won and stuff like that, and then Egan did his little speech, and then he said something that till today I still think it in the back of my head when he always thought about when he said like, oh, I get 10 guys better than him at my gym.
Yeah.
But then the one thing funny with Egan is when he said that is he never wanted to jump in the ring and train with me. He was always scared to train with me. You know what I mean? Everybody else in the gym would train with me, but he was the only guy that was scared. He would never want to train with me. And then I left Grappling Unlimited not too long after that. And I started fighting. And then I was like, I wanted to make a comeback. So I guess that's when him and his wife had to split up or something. So I ended up flying to Oahu. He was cool about it. He was like, yeah, come back to the gym, come train, you know? So as soon as I went to Oahu, my friends took me out. So while we're partying, cruising, hey, guess who I see? I see Egan's ex-wife, you know? And because they were so nice to me while I was at Grappling Unlimited training, while they were with each other, I had no hard feelings towards her. So she's like, hi, Cabbage. I went and I talked to her. Hey, how you doing, Gina? You know, blah, 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 blah. Like, not even for like 2 minutes or something. It was just like, hi, bye. Like, how you doing? How's the kids? You know, boom, done. Next day, Egan calls me up like, oh, doodle boy, being like, oh, I don't affiliate with people that talk to my ex-wife. And from that day on, I just cut my ties with Egan. I was like, right, if you could be a doodle boy like this. And I even told his brother Ensign about it. You know, because me and Ensign, I'm pretty close to Ensign, you know, because I talk to him once in a while. But like after Egan did that stuff and he said that in the ring about me and he said that like, oh, I don't affiliate with anybody that talks to my ex-wife. I was like, he's pulling some kindergarten bullshit, you know. So that's when I moved to Maui. And then I got into the UFC by myself, you know what I mean? I was like, left that. I kept on calling. I had Dana White's number. I kept on calling him, you know what I mean? Because my last fight I did for Super Brawl was when I fought in the heavyweight tournament and I broke my hand and I couldn't fight Tim Sylvia.
Oh, I remember. Because yeah, you were supposed to fight Tim Sylvia. Yeah, everybody wanted to see that fight.
Yeah, everybody wanted to see that fight, and Dana White wanted to see that fight. So I kept on calling him up, and he was like, "You know what? If you win a couple fights, I'll sign you." So I got the Super Brawl heavyweight championship. I kept them. I defended it 2 times after that. So I never did lose the Super Brawl heavyweight belt. I still get them in my closet at my mom's house. You know what I mean? Then from there, he went sign me up, and then my first fight in the UFC was against Tim Silva.
Yeah, I remember. So when you moved to Maui, who did you train with?
I traded Travis from Impact Zone. He was Impact Zone Jiu-Jitsu. He lived in Brazil for a little while. I trained with a whole bunch of like boxing coaches. I just used to cross train with a whole bunch of boxing coaches. Then I had my strength and conditioning coach, Tom Okerman. He was like one personal body trainer and stuff like that. He used to work out at Grand Wailea. He's a personal trainer and he had his own supplement company. So like when I started training with them, like they made my game super strong. My second fight in the UFC when I fought Sean Alvarez, he was a Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Abu Dhabi champion, ADDC champion, you know what I mean? And so my thing was like, I wasn't gonna let this guy take me down. So my personal trainer watched videos of the guy and he came out with this good workout for me to try to defend takedowns. And like, sure enough, like when he was trying to take me down, that's all he was trying to do was take me down, this guy. I just kept on sprawling, doing that rip off hook. And I kept on punching him in the body. His body kept on getting weak. And just that one underhook exercise that we kept on working out, you know, after a while, the guy felt like a little kid, like he was grabbing me because I kept on beating his body up, like his body became weak, you know, and that's when I just turned him up afterwards when he was defensive and the ref stopped the fight.
Bruh, so how was fighting in the UFC? I mean, back then it's not as it was being grown. It wasn't like how it is now, super mainstream and all that, but it was still super popular and the arenas would be packed. But that must have been like, I guess you might have been a little bit used to it fighting Super Brawl, but that's like the major leagues, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that was when UFC had pyrotechnics and all that shit, you know what I mean? Crazy entrance music, you know, everybody used to watch the fighters to see what kind of shorts and shirts they came out with for their sponsor, their banners, you know what I mean? That's when fighters had a lot of freedom inside that part. You know, you could pick your own music, you know, you could pick your entrance. I mean, you could pick your color of your shorts. You know, you'd have to make like 2 shorts just in case your opponent had the same color shorts. So you could have the opposite color, you know. But always like t-shirts, like when people used to watch the fights, you should be like, oh, I wonder what kind of shorts this guy gonna use this time, you know what I mean? I wonder what he gonna use this time, you know. And to me, I don't know, well, I got more nervous doing jiu-jitsu and judo competition than I did fighting. To me, like fighting was my home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
so
I used to get
to the cage. Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I used to get butterflies going to jiu-jitsu and judo tournaments. And when I used to fight, used to be as soon as I go into that cage and I hear that bolt lock on the cage or I step into the ropes, it's like one totally different person, like the thing, and like nothing. no butterflies, no nothing. It was totally weird. I couldn't explain. I was like, I don't know how the fuck I felt so comfortable in the ring, you know what I mean, or an octagon.
Well, you used to fight planning when you was like little kid time, or it was...
I never was on troublemaker. I was a nerd in school. I had a 3.5, 3.0 in high school. You know, I was one worm. I used to just study. I never used to go out. I never used to go cruise any place. I used to ride my bike around the neighborhood, cleared my GI Joes. You know.
That's crazy. And then all of a sudden you in the UFC.
Yeah, and then like I was after graduation where I started to cross training with MMA and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I kind of like it. You know what I mean? And then
Was
I
your
think it was
call,
like
you know?
99 or 2000 was my first fight in Kona. Was maybe late 99, early 2000 was my first breakout fight in Kona. And after that, the rest is all history. It's all in the books, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So what, being that you're from Hilo, you kind of train with BJ a lot too, or?
Yeah, so when I trained in Hilo, me and BJ, we started off at the gym the same time. We started training at this Quonset hut down Keokaha at the same time. Like, he used to go to Brazil, come back. Then we had this guy that he was saying that he was a jiu-jitsu teacher. He started training us. And then after we started training with the guy for a month, we could tap out our trainer. And we was like, wait. Because then we found out that he was a black belt in Taekwondo, not a black belt in Judo. I mean, jiu-jitsu, but he knew a little bit of jiu-jitsu. But we were like, oh, so then we started bringing in, BJ guys started bringing in Brazilians from Brazil to come and change up our ground game and do all that stuff. And that's like, I started doing that before I even started fighting MMA. With me and BJ, we started training in and stuff. It just was just something different to get a different outlet. Instead of going out and making trouble, we train, you know what I mean? Release all this energy, cruise, go beach, jump in the water. And then used to have those guys that used to train with us jiu-jitsu and go out and fight with guys. And then give the grapplers a bad name, you know what I mean? Because in Hilo, guys used to always pump it up. Like when one guy used to go out, if one guy knew jiu-jitsu and one guy doesn't know nothing, the guy that knows jiu-jitsu gonna fuck the guy up, you know what I mean? He gonna take him out, beat him up, and the guy that got beaten up would go back and tell his friends that he got mobbed, you know what I mean? So he wouldn't look like he got beaten up by one small guy. He'd be like, oh, they mobbed me, you know, and then they'll come looking for the grapplers, you know what I mean? And would start whole trouble with us. And it was just one ongoing thing with like the grapplers and like mountain boys and like all kinds of stuff, like growing up and us doing jiu-jitsu. Like, bro, we got shot at when we was younger, you know?
Oh shit.
Yeah, because they came to retaliate for us beating. Like, we went to one party down in Puna side, and we fucked everybody up. Like, we only went there for party, you know what I mean? And guys wanted to fight, and like all the guys that wanted to fight ended up getting fucked up. Like, a couple guys was in the bushes, knocked out, you know, and we all ended up leaving. And then 2 weekends later, they came and they tried to retaliate and shot at us. And a couple guys got shot at the party. Like, one guy got shot in his hand, one guy got grazed in his head, one guy got shot in his leg.
Oh, Hilo is no joke, huh?
Yeah, Hilo is rugged over there. Like, they run them hard, these fuckers.
Shit,
But
we used to go party at
so
Karma over there. I think that was...
yeah, and now it's so funny but the guys that shot at us when we was kids, I'm super good friends with the guys, you know what I mean?
That's how it is. Normally the guys you beef with end up becoming your best friends after.
Yeah. It's like, right, I cruise with them, you know what I mean? We smoke a joint with each other, you know, we chill out, talk story, and it's like, it's something in the past that never gets bringing up, like, between us, you know what I mean? When you talk, we don't ever talk about, oh, remember the time you shoot at us, you know?
Oh, that's a bad conversation. Huh? Fuck, he almost killed me.
Remember the time you shooting that 45 at us, you fucker. You know, but there was unloading because you could hear the bullets like zinging past you.
Oh, that's not fun, bro.
Like, yeah. So like everybody was ducking and diving, and because when they came, at first it was like they wanted to fight, and then one guy would run. The grapplers came out, all the jiu-jitsu guys came out, and he was like, "What's going on?" You know what I mean? And then one guy would run in the party, and he was telling, "Bro, you know, a big fight outside." Then the whole party came outside. You know what I mean? And then the guys that was there for scrap was like, what the, we're gonna get mobbed now, and then jump in the car, and that's when they started shooting. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh shit, we're not gonna beef with all these guys, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's great growing up in Big Island in Hilo. It was pretty nuts. Like, we had some crazy shit going on over
there. But it seems how it is back then, is it the same now, or is like everybody's kind of more together kind?
Crazy over there. It's more crazy. The drugs is getting crazy over there right now.
Oh, and you still live in Hilo?
I live in Waimea now. I moved out to Waimea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Hilo, but my mom lived in Hilo, still get a house over there. But I was like, I gotta get out of town. Town is getting too nuts. And I wanted to get out of town and like try to do some different stuff, get out of my comfort zone, you know?
Yeah. Try to
Yeah.
make new moves.
Yeah.
So what, you were competing in UFC for a while, not to bring us back to that. And then what happened after your UFC career? You still competing, right? Because I remember seeing you at the K1, the only time there's ever fights at the Stan Sheriff. I know Mufi Hanneman has something to do with it because
Right.
we were promoting a nightclub and Akibono came to promote the fights, and I get all kind pictures with him, and then he ended up giving us tickets. So we was there, bro. And it like that was one of the craziest events I ever went to. They had it was like Japan.
Yeah, that one was nuts. Like they were selling tickets from Japan for fans from Japan, like room board, like hotel packages and stuff like that. And like that's why I choked fans from Japan too. But the reason they use Stan Sheriff Stadium is because that's the only place with a satellite link to do live events. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So they made them at Stan Sheriff so they could live pay-per-view it. So that was the first live pay-per-view at K1 kickboxing match ever aired in Hawaii right there.
Oh man, and had like all kind. I had Butterbean, Gokhan Saki, had you had even Hunt. Was Mark Hunt in that?
Mark had Gary Goodrich. I fought
Gary Goodrich. That's right. That's what. Yeah. And I remember Gokhan Saki. Yeah, that thing
was on big turn down. That was my first time ever fighting kickboxing. And like, getting a leg kicked hard like that when you're not used to doing that.
I remember.
Yeah. I couldn't walk for like 4 days after that. You know what I mean? I was walking with a pimp limp. I had the pimp limp for like 4 days.
That was some big boys too, huh?
Yeah, that was the big guys. And then I started. So after the UFC, I started fighting in all these other shows like K1, Rumble on the Rocks, you know. And then I was Rumble on the Rock champion for a little while. They was bringing down all kind of guys for me fight. I fought Joe Riggs when he was heavyweight, knocked his ass out.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. I fought Tank for the second time in Rumble on the Rock. I lost that one, you know. And then
you beat him in UFC, though. Huh?
Yeah, and cut him open in the UFC.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he just got lucky our second fight. You know what I mean? I give it to him. Yeah. I took the first one first. I took his soul on that one. He knocked me. He dropped me on the second one. You know what I mean? I made him actually quit. He caught me with a good punch. Yeah.
And what after all that, you guys ever talk, or you guys ever cool, or it was never
like I never did hate somebody like that, you know what I mean? But we never did talk after that. Like all of the other people that I ever fought with, like, was super cool afterwards, you know. The only other person I never did talk to is Marcelo Tiger.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what happened to that guy. That was the last time I seen him fight.
He just fell off. I think one time I seen him, but he was like super small or something, you know what I mean? He was different. I think he came back from Brazil, or I forget what it was, and I was like, oh. But like everybody else that I fought, like super cool, you know. Butterbean, I fought him 2 times. We good friends, you know.
Oh, that's crazy. That is a big dude.
Yeah, his fucking head is like a bowling ball.
Yeah, because we got to be close to them when we were watching the fights, and bro, it was like these guys was monsters. And then like even Akibono, like he was a monster too, bro.
Yeah, he was huge, that guy. So when he fought that big Korean guy, huh?
Yeah.
So
they brought him in to promo it, so he walked in the ring. I'm like, oh, bro, these guys are huge.
Yeah, but so they took care of us though on that K1. Then the second K1 was good too.
That's the one at Aloha Stadium.
Yeah, at the Aloha Stadium one, and then the Aloha Stadium one was the one I fought Gary Goodrich.
Oh,
I fought the Olympic guy, and then I fought Gary Goodrich, and then the Stan Sheriff is when I fought the Stan Sheriff is when I fought that Korean guy from the Olympics.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one at Aloha Stadium, that was like Penn versus Gracie or something like that, huh?
That was Penn versus, was it Sudo? Genki Sudo?
Oh, Genki Sudo.
I think it was Hoyler Gracie. I think it was one of those, it was one of those big fights.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Oh, it was like till 1 a.m. I was super late when they fight.
Yeah, the fights would go to a long time. They had to pay like a big fee because they were supposed to actually be out by like 11 or 12 o'clock, but was running so late because the fights would start kind of late because everybody was still coming in. You know what I mean? There was still filling people in the seats when people was coming in, and that's the first time like somebody would steal one shirt from me. Like I had my shirt, and like when my friend was pulling the wagon back, someone used to steal the shirt off the wagon, like, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, if they would have asked, I would have given them. You know what I mean?
So you ever got to fight in another country?
I fought in like, where did I go? I trained in Japan for a year. I fought in China and I fought in the Philippines.
Oh, how's fighting in the Philippines?
It was crazy when you come out of the stuff. Just is nuts. It's a third world country. When you walk out of the airport, you guys with AK-47s. You know what I mean? You just feel, oh, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? But it's just how, because it's just a third world. You know.
Yeah.
And but you get the event give you security and stuff like that. They get security for come with the guys and stuff like that. But it's pretty nice. Like everything's cheap.
Oh, and well, you guys are like freaking celebrities, when you guys go to kind.
Oh yeah, like people like take pictures. Like Guam, I went Guam. I fought Guam a couple times. You know, Guam. I love Guam. I get plenty of family up there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like plenty of the boys up there is like considered family. You know what I mean? They was from Grappling Unlimited. We all trained with each other. You know, they're all super cool. I met them through there, and we're all just super cool guys.
So when did you decide to call it a career? Or what, you still get one more left in you?
Oh yeah, I still waiting for Bare Knuckle to send me my contract. I've been talking to the owner, David Fieldman. I would like to do a bare knuckle fight or 2 bare knuckle fights and then hang it up after that, you know.
Because you was supposed to fight, was it X1 or something like that, and it got canceled or something?
Yeah, I was supposed to fight Lola Hair and I got sick. And then
that's right.
I was supposed to fight. I hurt my shoulder, my hand when I fought Lola Hair, and then one time I was supposed to fight somebody else, and I got sick. I got food poisoning.
Oh,
like before the event, and so I walked in and I addressed it. And I told everybody. And I felt bad because everybody wanted to see that fight, and that's the only guy that we never did get to fight is me and Lola Hair. I always wanted to fight that guy. You know what I mean? He always used to talk smack, but it never did happen. You know what I mean? And when I started losing weight and he started gaining weight, he wanted to fight, and I was like, bro, fat boy, if you lose weight, I'll fight you. You know what I mean? I'm going down to a legit heavyweight, almost like one light heavyweight. So I like fight you right around my weight. I'm not gonna give you 300 pounds, you know.
Yeah, especially MMA, you just take you down and
like
lay on top of you,
lie on top of me and suffocate me with on titty. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know?
Oh, but that would be kind of cool to see you in bare knuckle. That's kind of brutal, bro. That sport, bro. It's like
I mean, it better because you gotta pick your shots. You know, you gotta be more precise with it. You know, you gotta cut your angles. You gotta work because if you're gonna be throwing wild punches, you get more chances of breaking your hands.
Yeah.
So I just feel like because my background is boxing, I think I could just pick somebody apart. You know what I mean? I'd be like a geometry professor on that cutting angles and shit. You know.
Yeah. And that's how you was when you fought. Like your punches was always like laser beams. And brah, like always remember, you always would connect, but you always was coming forward, brah. Like even when you was getting hit, you still was coming forward.
And you just smile at them, and when you give them the smile, and then you look in their eyes, and they look like, "What the fuck is this guy made of?" You know what I mean? Like I just hit this guy 3 times with all I had, and he smiled at me, and he keeps on he's nodding and go, "Okay, let's go," you know, and walks forward. Like, what the fuck? You know, like till today, like even though Andre beat me, like I seen it in his face, like when he hit me with that 3-piece combination, I looked at him and I smiled and I said, "Okay, let's go," and I walked him down. In his eyes, I seen it already. Like he was like, "What the fuck is this guy made of?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the Hilo right there.
Yeah. That was, and everybody used to tell me, "Bro, why you like getting punched?" I said, "Fuck, I don't know. Sometimes I like feel what the guy get. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like see what is my danger zone. You know."
Fuck that. That's crazy.
Before I had to be live by the sword, die by the sword. You know.
Oh yeah, and that's how it was. Like people would spar like every day of the week and stuff like that. And I guess now it's more scientific. They kind of trying to preserve brain cells and trying to make sure that the fighters are healthier. But then you grow as a fighter too, because you're not nursing injuries all the time. You always.
I guess some people not built for fighting. You know what I mean? Me, all the punishment I took, I'm still sharp as a fucking razor. You know what I mean? It's like I think that thing can tighten some bolts inside my head. You know what I mean? It's like what the fuck. Like some people they tell me, "But you know what headaches?" It's like, "Oh, bro, not one headache, not nothing." You know what I mean? It's like I don't get nothing from getting punched or anything. It's like when people ask me questions and start hitting me, like connecting me with a conversation, they're like, oh shit, this guy is smart. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't think that I know as much as I do because I was a fighter, so they think fighter dumb, only know how to punch. You know.
Well, they probably, if they seen your fights, bro, they seen how you fight. It's pretty fucking,
Yeah. So they probably think like, oh, this guy
pretty crazy
might have a little
style.
bit. This guy might have a little bit of Muhammad Ali in him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but none of that stuff. Like I'm surprised. Like I look at Chuck Liddell when he does interviews, like he looks horrible, and you can
Oh
tell like
yeah.
the punching, he's not all there in his face.
Yeah.
You know, you can
Or
tell it's
even,
like
yeah.
certain
He's
fighters, you can tell
definitely,
like the punches took him out. Like you can see it. Like when he does interviews, you just look at him and he just looks lost a little bit. Like
yeah. Even
he looks
Holyfield is let at.
yeah. Holyfield was like that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even know why he fought. Vitor
Yeah, I
Belfort.
don't know why either, bro. I wouldn't fuck that. Like De La Hoya was smart for get COVID.
Yeah, right. He was super smart. Like I don't know why he even fought him. Like, oh, you need money that bad that you gotta go fight. You know, Holyfield, you gotta go fight this Thriller Fight Club. You know, like he's like 50 something years old. You know, it's like shit.
You would ever try to get into one of those ones?
I would if they would like hit me up. I would try. You know, I'll try pro boxing fight one or two times before I hang up the gloves. You know.
So you down to jump back in the ring or cage?
Yeah, I'm super. I run 5 miles every day to just stay in shape. Now I'm light heavyweight. It's the lightest I've ever been in my whole career.
Yeah,
like
you definitely look very.
I'm 200,
lean.
215 pounds now. I wear an extra large T-shirt. You know.
Oh me! And what
I went
were you when you were fighting?
I was like 285.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 285, and I used to cut down to 265. I used to drop the 20 pounds a day away and then put them back on. So the next day I used to be at 285 again.
Oh, with just water.
Yeah, just water weight. I had them down to and cutting signs because every time I used to cut with in the UFC, I used to cut with Matt Hughes. And Matt Hughes, his team used to always be in a sauna with me, and they used to help me out, and like they taught me a lot of like tricks that I can give to other people if they ever need to cut weights. You know what I mean? Like I can make that sauna turn super hot, like real fast. You know what I mean? It's like like they showed me tricks how to make that thing heat up. Like you can drop weight super fast.
Oh, that's
like they used to splash. He used to have his coach come inside with us. They used to one big bottle of water, splash water all on the walls, and go in on towel in the middle of the room and spin the towel, and you feel the heat come from the top down, and you just you feel like a fucking desert. You know, it just suffer. But it cuts your time down because it comes so hot. Your time in there, it cuts in half. You know what I mean? But then you got to really regulate yourself because after the heat so long, then your body stops sweating. You know what I mean? Then you got to go back to in your hotel room, rest a little while, lie down, take on salt bath, and then go back to cutting weight again because then your body can start sweating again.
Oh, and then what? You feel all like dehydrated and all that kind.
I never did feel dehydrated, but like when some guys they try to cut plenty weight, they feel dehydrated. But my thing was always I used to always bring Ligi Moy with me for the salt and like Gatorade.
Oh.
Like Phil Baroni, he drank one Pedialyte after he cut weight. Pure Pedialyte. He had diarrhea the fight when he fought. He had to fight with like a man pawn in his pants, so he wouldn't shit himself. You know.
On cork.
Yeah.
That's funny. So what? So you had to cut from? Oh, I guess heavyweight get on cut. And back then you could do IVs. Back then.
Yeah. So heavyweight had the 265 was the cutoff. As what it is still today, 265 is cut off. They're almost super heavyweight. So I used to go into the fight like 285, 280 and just cut that couple pounds, 15, 20 pounds. And then as soon as I jump on the scale, right as soon as I come off the scale, I'm hydrating, grinding food. Next morning, I'm at 285 again.
And you feel normal, not.
Yeah, I used to feel super. I used to sleep in my sauna suit and lose 5 pounds overnight.
Oh.
Like I had all kind of tricks like we used to do. I used to sleep with my full plastic sauna suit on with one sweatsuit on with the AC on full blast in the hotel room and just crash out. And the next morning I take them off and the thing is just drenched and 5 pounds lighter.
Oh, man.
And it's just you doing that while you're sleeping, and then that way you only get 15. You gotta suffer for 15 while you wake up.
Take one shit, that's another 3 pounds. Yeah.
Right. And guys that used to fucking take diuretics and also they could piss. You know what I mean? I used to be like, wow, you guys come in that heavy before you fight. Like you guys gotta fucking do that much fucking weight cutting. Like, damn.
But it comes dangerous though. You throw off your electrolytes and your heart gonna stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's why like my kids played Pop Warner football. And because I was so used to seeing the side effects of cutting weight, because they used to make the kids do that before for Pop Warner. Like you gotta weigh in 1 hour before your game. And you cannot hydrate properly for get everything back inside. So I fought with it for a long time, and finally they pushed it off where now it's not even a weight limit, it's just age groups now.
Oh, that's good.
You know, so I pushed it, and they got rid of that ruling because I told them it's so unhealthy for the kids. I said, because the kids need all their vitamins, everything that they need while they're eating. I said, when they starve because they gotta make weight, and now after they make weight, now they're gonna try to grind. I said, you're not gonna put everything that they need. They're still gonna be sluggish. They're gonna hurt themselves. They get more chance of hurting something on top of their body. You know, they're too young to be cutting weight.
Yeah. And
and because I was a fighter and I had that background, they listened, you know, and they ended up burp that rule.
Oh, that's good. So since you've been fighting, it's been a while since your last fight. What have you been up to, bro? What have you been doing?
I've been just chilling, raising my kids, you know, just hanging out. I was stuck on opiates for a long time, on painkillers, and I started smoking. I got my 329 card, and I started smoking weed and like cut off all that painkillers, you know.
Oh, bro. I mean, like, I'm in the medical profession, and that's my biggest pet peeve, bro.
Yeah.
The medical prescription drugs and big pharma, and once that shit gets their hooks into
and like some people really need it. Some people they
Bruh.
don't need it because they sell it, but some people really need it. And when the people that don't need it get it and they abuse it and they fuck it up for everybody else, for like, if people, like some people have chronic back pains where they smoke marijuana and it doesn't work, or the medical doesn't cover the marijuana, you know what I mean? So they need to have the prescription pain or painkillers because they're like, oh, or they deal with the, oh, should I go get my 329 card and give up my firearms, or should I just keep on getting my prescription drugs that does the same thing and keep my firearms, you know?
Makes no sense.
Yeah, no sense at all. It's like crazy how they do that thing. It's like, wow, it's like yeah, piss in the pool. It's like pissing in the corner of the pool, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So because of weed, you got to kind of kick the opiate habit or prescription drug habit.
Big time, because of weed and
so
CBD
good.
products. Like I got sponsored by a CBD company that this product works super good. You know, it's the only CBD that I feel works, you know. Like I tried a whole bunch of different brands, and this is the only brand that like helped me throughout my whole like opiate crisis, like for withdrawals and stuff, was that CBD product and smoking weed.
Oh, so you're a testament to how weed can help with opiate addiction then.
Yeah, you can totally kick it, like, but it's the point of, you know, if you want to give up your firearms, right, you know. But they shouldn't even hold that up. Like they shouldn't even take away your firearm, like, because of that stuff, you know. Why are they gonna let somebody that can drink and get super drunk or can take Xanax or antidepressants still own a firearm, but somebody that smokes weed cannot own a firearm, you know?
Yeah, to me that doesn't make sense. And honestly, like,
but that's how they can catch everybody, you know.
Yeah, and like you don't get violent off weed, you get hungry and sleepy. Like alcohol.
And nobody overdosed off of weed before, you know. Who has anybody overdosed off of weed? You fall asleep, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You fall asleep.
And so you're definitely a kind of an advocate. I see your Instagram, and you definitely are very vocal about the benefits of medical marijuana, and so it's a good thing that you're advocate for it, because it changed your life. And
big time. It changed my life for the better, you know. It changed my life for the way better. Now I can smoke weed and still be active compared to when I used to take opioids and be like, you know, all fucking bubble on and all dumb, you know, be all stupid, you know. Then like smoking weed, I can still function, you know. I can take my kids to the beach, you know. I can do everything still yet. I'll smoke sativa during the daytime, so it takes away my pains and keep relaxed. And I smoke a heavy indica at nighttime to put my ass to sleep, you know.
Oh, that's good. And what for pain wise? And I'm sure you had plenty pain from being an athlete this whole time, but it helps subdue the pain as much as the opiates, or it's kind of equivalent.
And it has a lot of anti-inflammatory benefits too. Weed and CBD, so it's actually like a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? It helps you with the pain and it helps with the swelling, compared to where painkillers only mask the pain, you know. It doesn't help you with the swelling. You got to take a handful of different pain meds. You got to take like ibuprofen 800, Percocets, you know what I mean, all this kind of stuff, so you can take down the inflammation with the ibuprofen, and then you can deal with the pain with the Percocet, you know. It's like, but when I smoke the weed, it's like I get the same benefits from all that drugs in one joint, you know.
and it's a plant. It's not even
Yeah.
manufactured. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's not. It's something that you grow from a seed. You know.
yeah. Oh, that's a great story, and I wish more people would turn to that. Then,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think now it's not as demonized as it was back then. Like back in the day, like weed
The
was
devil's lettuce. The
yeah,
devil's lettuce. The gateway drug.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's
guess so
gaining.
much people are now they're doing it because now the Olympics allow it. Like so what
Yeah.
they do is now is they'll actually try to swab your mouth in the Olympics to see if you smoke like 6 hours up to your competition. So they'll let you smoke the day before, but not 6 hours up to your comp. And then you can smoke
Oh,
after
okay.
a week. So they'll swab your mouth because with the swab they'll get a better test result than taking a urine or blood sample. It'll pull up if the urine or blood sample or hair sample will show up test results from like 3 months ago, it'll still show up
Yeah.
signs. But with the swab will be like, yeah, you still show up positive, but it will show if you actually ingested the drug 6 hours before your competition.
Oh, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
nowadays it's like people are learning more and being educated about it, and there's way more beneficial properties to it. And of course, get some guys just like smoke weed, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's
It's like
ways,
smoke.
yeah. But then again, there's people who drink, who
Yeah.
to me is way worse. And like I know I work in the club. I see fights and shit all the time because of alcohol, and
Yeah.
like
Imagine
people
if
do
you had
dumb
on weed
shit, get in
on weed
accidents and
club.
all that.
If you had on weed
Huh?
club where people would just smoke weed in the club, nobody would fight. Everybody would be laughing and drinking
Yo,
and having fun and dancing and shit.
fuck yeah. They ever do that, bro? I'm over there with some Musabis, bro. And these things, bro.
Right?
I be
Right.
making a
Bro,
killing selling
that thing right
Musabis
there,
out weed club.
that thing
Yeah,
right there, Nom's candy, they sent me a package, a care package. That's the
bro.
best candies I ever ate, bro.
Oh,
That's
this is
the
fire.
best.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, they
best. I like the
sponsored.
nerd clusters. The nerd clusters is my
Yo,
favorite.
my daughter
Like I
loves
always
that
gotta
shit.
order. I order extra bags. I gotta order extra because my kids end up stealing them from me.
Yo. Or the spaghetti. The spaghetti ones is mean too.
Yeah, that one is good.
Fire.
That one is good.
So
Yeah, like
you're kind of a kid at heart, bro. I hear you collect like Funkos and action figures and stuff, and I
yeah.
do, and boy band John is a huge Funko Pop fan, and
So yeah,
he's been.
I used to collect from before when I was a kid. Like I found a couple unopened toys that I had that I was surprised were unopened. I found some old GI Joe, some Transformer that was still MOC, and then I looked at the value of it and I was like, holy shit. So I started collecting all these other like new stuff when they come out for my kids. So I have like 2 big Pelican cases that every time I buy something, I buy 2 of each. And I
Oh
make sure I put
wow.
them inside my kids, the Pelican cases. So when they come older, they can either hopefully it'll be worth money, you know what I mean? And they can sell it if they want to, or they can keep it on and hand it over to their kids and it can just keep on increasing in value.
So you're a collector for fun as well as trying to be like profitable from it.
Yeah, trying to build a little cushion for my children because I see like how like I have this one fun school GI Joe, a tunnel rat. It's the India fun school, so it's from India. And at first it was going for like $60 because it's MOC. The price now is like 700 on eBay. The thing
Oh
jumped up
wow.
in like 3 months because now everybody is back into now all these young people are like, what's up with these GI Joes? Oh, these old classic GI Joes. Oh, now I want to collect these too. So now they're out there like buying, and there's other collectors that want to collect these, like, but there's a whole lot of scalpers that go out there and they just buy the whole shelf. So like
Oh
it
yeah.
ruins it for some of the collectors that want to go out there and just buy like 1 or 2. But they go out there and they buy like 2 boxes of it, and the next thing you know, they get them on eBay for like $100 a figure because they bought them all, and then people buy it because of the supply and demand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I always just
So
waited. I always just waited out, and then sometimes I find it on Mercari, so I end up buying the other figures that I never had on Mercari.
oh, and what Funko Pops, they increase in value too, or
Yeah, Funko Pops increase in value. Like there's some that is like Comic Con exclusives and like flocked, or like the chase ones is like the rare ones. Like I have a Skeletor that is a chase that is worth like $600. I got some
oh
other
wow.
good ones too. Just get stashed up. And like the Funko Pop, they have this app that you can put in your phone, and you can put in your collection, and it'll tell you how much your collection is valued at.
Oh wow. You
Yeah,
do
so
that, John? Oh wow.
the thing will like tell you what your Funko Pop is appraised at, or what's the estimated value, like how hot it is right now. If people are really looking for it, it'll jump up in price. If it's a rare Funko Pop, it'll jump up even more in price.
And
And then
how
like when it
easy?
has like where it's like these kinds of stickers on top, like the small sticker on this corner.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like makes it like a little bit more rare when it's like a special edition or like an exclusive, like this Garbage Pail Kid. Got that Funko little sticker right there.
Bony Tony.
Tony. And then I found a whole bunch. I never knew that Garbage Pail Kids was worth that much money. When I went to my mom's house, I found 2 boxes of Series 1 that I never opened.
I get two versions of Series 1.
Bro, they're selling for like $300 a pack.
Oh, brah. Yeah,
And
I found those.
I had 2 cases. I had 2 cases in my mom's stuff and unopened, like still with the plastic around them. So I opened up one, I opened it up, and I was like, oh, the packs are still nice.
Oh,
and I looked them
wow.
up, and it was like $300 per pack of those Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, that's insane.
The price is going crazy.
Nowadays too, it's been a lot more popular. I got a friend that owns Windward Collectibles, and he's been doing stuff with trading cards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I get a couple comics. I just had on Superman, the first edition Action Comics. I just got them back graded. So I think it's worth like $2.5 million.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's graded out at 9.3, and only get like 100 of those left around the world. And I just got them back from CDC, the comic book place, and they verified it for me. So now it's in a plastic case that I get them in my closet.
Oh yeah, you gotta put that one safe or something.
Yeah, so I could just sell them. Like I could probably sell them for like $1 million, because the thing, for give somebody room for make room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably these new YouTubers probably go like buy them or something like that. Add on to their collection. Because one that rated at 10.0 sold for $3 million on eBay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like the more you get, like it can turn a $30 card into like a fucking $6,000 card by getting it graded. Like that's the big difference, because there's so much of fakes that came out at the same time. Like Jordan rookie cards, they're worth bucks, like super bucks. But there are also
how do you get it graded? You gotta mail it to some place.
Yeah, you insure it and then mail it off to the States, and then they grade it. It takes like 2 weeks. And then they grade it for you, and then you pay a fee for them to grade it. And it's like a percentage of what it's graded at and stuff like that. But they don't go like off of, like if it's graded at $2.5 million, they don't charge you like $200,000 to grade it, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's to have a set like a high fee where that's like the most you're gonna pay for a comic grading. But then they have a minimum where that's the minimum they're gonna pay. Even though if you send it in for a fake, if it's a fake, you're still gonna pay that minimum fee. Yeah.
Oh, it makes you wish you saved all your toys and never play with them, huh? When you're little.
Make me wish I never sacrificed all my GI Joes before blowing them up with thunder bombs. You know what I mean? Oh, casualties of war. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the freaking M80s, huh?
Yeah. Even like my Star Wars figures, I had like the cases of Star Wars figures. I look at those and it's like so much money now. I'm like, I wish I kept them all. You know, but
I was
when you're a kid, you don't even think about that stuff, you know. But I was surprised that I had a couple of those. I never thought I never did open them. My mom was like, "Hey, you still get these toys? You know, you never did open."
That's crazy. Yeah, my Star Wars guys, we used to freaking blow them up or send them down the river and
do all kinds of stuff, sacrificials.
And what, like nowadays they have that NFT stuff. You into that too, or
which one is that?
It's like a virtual card that they've been selling online for like crypto.
Oh no,
I'm not too sure.
I haven't been getting
how it works.
Ones. Yeah, I haven't been getting to those.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, so I can't really talk about it. But I know it's like a moment, and then I guess Tops or somebody puts it out, and there's only so many of those moments, and then you can buy and sell them online, but using crypto. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be talking out of my ass, but I think that's the gist of it. But
yeah, well, it's pretty.
I'd rather have one toy that you can hold, you know, kind of. Or
I'd rather have one personal where I can look at it in a box if I like, or I can take them out, you know.
Yeah.
So like I've been getting my kids into it too, so they kind of like it too. My youngest son, he likes the Marvel Legends figures, you know. So in his room, I get all Marvel Legends, and my oldest boy is always going through the Pops and putting up the Pops and Transformers up in his room. You know, he likes the Transformers and the Pop Funkos, you know.
Oh, that's cool. That's something you can bond over, huh?
I got on display inside my living room of all the G.I. Joes there and help me display them up and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. And what, do your kids, were they ever interested in competing or fighting?
My oldest one always wants to fight. He thought, oh, I like fight, that, like, yeah, I like trade, you know. But he's an awesome football player and awesome baseball player, you know. And my youngest one is good in football and good in soccer. So I told him that, you know, unless the money is good in fighting, I don't like pushing that way. I rather push it towards the professional football or professional baseball sport, you know, get them some money for this stuff. Because at the end of the day, we put our lives at risk during MMA if we get paid peanuts. Well, these big companies get paid all this money, you know. It should be more like boxing, you know, not as much as boxing, but we should be getting paid as close to as much as boxing get paid, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's because we take in a lot more risk in there than the boxers.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, so you've been explaining to me previously that you trying to start your own gym. How's that coming along?
So I got a spot already out here in Waimea. I'm gonna start the first women's and children's self-defense and striking class out here in Waimea. Because when I came out here, there's nothing, you know, and I want to create the awareness and the comfortableness to let single parents go back out into the parks and take their kids to the beaches if they have to and not worry about anything. They can defend their children or themselves if they get into that kind of situations, which I hope it doesn't. But it's always better to have the gun and not need it than have it and then you know, and not have it, you know.
Exactly.
So it's always better to know how to defend yourself, and hopefully you never have to use it then when the time comes and you don't know what to do when the time comes, you know. So I'll be going through a lot of things with that, because I know a lot of women carry, like 9 out of 10 women carry mace in their purse, but when the time comes, how many of them know actually how to use it, or how many actual fumble with it, you know. So I want to create the awareness to give them comfortableness where they feel confident in themselves to perform properly at that times, you know.
Oh, that's super insightful. And what are you gonna call your gym?
It's called Cabbage's Striking and Self-Defense.
Oh, right on. And you get hired coaches, and obviously you can be one of them, but you get other people.
It's just me for now. I'm gonna be, instead of running classes, I'm running hour 15 classes. I'll be the coach in the classes until the classes get bigger, and then I'll hire on more coaches. And I got Eli Malay that's gonna come down. She wants to run some classes with me.
Oh, nice.
I talked to Holly Holmes and Michelle Watterson. They're down to come do some stuff. I even talked to Travis Brown to talk to Rhonda, see if she would come down, and she's down to come down too, but they just had a baby.
Wow.
So I'm going to have all these females come in and show like what they feel works for them in certain situations. Like every one of those girls women that are going to come in and show something, all have a different thing they can bring to the table. So that's why I reached out and I contacted all of them to come down, and so they can teach the ladies how to do certain things that they feel work for them, you know?
Oh, that's super smart. So it's not like you're trying to put a fight team together and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, if that happens later, I mean, I'll be more than happy to take on some guys that if they want to fight, you know, I'll train them. But right now I'm really focusing on just women's and children's. I want to build confidence in them just to make them feel more comfortable, get them physically fit, you know, get them out of the house, get them punching stuff, get them moving, get them active, you know.
Yeah. And be able to not be afraid. And I guess
totally.
I guess like they have to be used to getting like punches thrown at them and stuff.
Like a lot of people, they probably have been staying home a lot because of all these kidnappings and stuff, so they don't feel comfortable taking their kids to the park or to the beach anymore, you know. So I want to create this so the mama bear can defend her cubs, you know.
Oh, that's super important.
Yeah.
And definitely feel comfortable in a negative situation. You know what I mean?
And not to be sexist or anything, but I'm gonna train men too, but I'm just focusing on women. My stuff is just women's and children's self-defense and boxing for now. Like that's I really want to focus on that, but I'll be open to train with, like, because it's just gonna be a boxing gym, you know, just striking and basic self-defense maneuvers and things to get out of sticky situations, how to be vocal to get yourself out of situations, like be loud if they're females, like being loud and attracting attention really works to get out of certain situations, you know, because people will start looking like, oh, what's going on, you know.
Oh yeah. So big ass whistle. Teach them how
to
one big
whistle, but just be loud, like, hey, what are you doing? I told you to stop fucking coming by me. What, you know, so it attracts attention from people around, you know, and then hopefully you'll get those good dads that want to come around and be like, oh, what the fuck is going on, you know. But by creating the awareness that we're going to create for the females, they might not have to worry about doing those things. They can handle it all themselves, you know. If they come to touch their cubs, mama gonna bust those guys up, you know.
bruh, that's an awesome idea. And bruh, let me know when you open so we can help
Yeah.
promote it, bruh. That would
So
be
so
super
my
cool.
opening startup day, I'm looking at November 1st.
All
So
right.
it's
Oh,
pretty much around
soon.
the corner, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
good luck
I'm
with
running
that, bruh.
like
That's
I'm running
super
like
cool.
2 classes a night, 3 classes a week, and I got different stages, and I'm gonna break everybody down. I'm gonna start everybody down like they never did box before. They're gonna learn footwork drills from the beginning, and everything that I learned from my career, like during striking and everything, I'm gonna fundament that and everything into it and mix it all up and make it my own style.
Oh, wow. That sounds like
Yeah.
fun too. It sounds like they're gonna have a lot of fun learning.
Yes, I'm gonna make it fun and like make it fun, exciting for them to come over there. I got I talked to the guy from Bang for Bang, the guy from Oahu, local company.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's making my gear. So he's making me a body shield so I can walk around and let the ladies punch me, with the body shield. Like, hey, take your anger out. If you got some anger, let it out right now.
Hold up.
Let them vent their frustrations. Let the kids vent their frustration. And I'm gonna even do an academic program, even so like if they got a 2.8 or higher, they'll get like free classes. And then even to like faculty and staff of the schools, I'll give them free classes or like a discounted price. So in case somebody comes to the school to do something, you know,
Yep.
teachers is all prepared.
Oh, that's smart. So you're doing a lot of community work then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super
But
impressive.
it's my turn to give back to the community. I did a lot. I got into trouble like 10 years back. I did some jail time, and I feel now it's time for me to give back and like try to make futures, instead of looking in the past. Like everybody will look at everybody's past. Like it's not about building. We're not building past over here. We're building futures. You know what I mean? We're not trying to
Yeah.
build in the past. We're not rebuilding pyramids or anything that was back in the days. We're building skyscrapers and we're building new stuff. So we're building futures. You know what I mean? We're not building past. So everybody that keeps on turning back into the pages and looking at everybody's past, like everybody deserves a chance to try and grow and move forward.
I
All
believe that
depends on
too.
how you can grab that hook and embrace it, and turn it
Yep.
into something positive. So that's
As long
why,
as you down for
like me,
making
by doing
change.
this, I'm like, I'm down to do this to help out the community. Like I feel like this is my time to give back somehow.
Oh, blessings to you, bro. That's super cool.
Thank
That's
you, thank you.
yeah, that's crazy that you're building this thing to where other people can benefit from it. And
Yeah,
women and children, that's a good way to start, bro. That's
yeah.
the ones that need to
And
be with
I
all
just want
this
to keep on growing
craziness.
this thing up. I want to grow this thing so it'll be big, where I can get my own warehouse where I can have yoga, hot yoga. You know what I mean? I can have it all in one area for these women to come and people to come and train. Because
That's
there's
awesome.
nothing from in Honoka. There's like a jiu-jitsu gym out there, but in Waimea there's nothing. Kauai High, there's nothing. Waikoloa, there's nothing. So, and in Waimea, there's nothing for the community over here. So that's why I want to give back and stay here. Like I got offered like a warehouse down Kauai High, but I was like, I don't want to go down the hill. I want to stay here in Waimea where I'm living right now and build a gym for people over here to give them an outlet to do something, because there's nothing. I'll be the first one to do this over here.
Oh, that's cool. And
Yeah.
with your notoriety, it should catch on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have
It
the
should get
skill
done pretty
set.
much.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've been blessed to meet up with the lady that I'm renting space from, Casey. She's the CrossFit All Stars owner, and she's super nice, and she's like super open to my idea and my thoughts and my philosophy on this whole package that I'm putting together.
Oh, good for you, bro.
Yeah,
That's good news.
hell
Well,
yeah,
shit,
like
we've been going for over an hour, bruh. I could talk to you about fighting and all this kind of
right?
stuff for way longer. What?
Yes,
Boy Band John can ask the question of the week.
Oh, I had a question real quick before the question of the week.
yeah.
So, Wesley, what you think about this Jake Paul shit?
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jake Paul shit. I mean, he's been training, he's been putting in work. But if he think he could fight some like one old MMA fight, I'd be willing to put that little fucker on his ass. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd bet some money on that one.
I'll be willing to put the little fucker on his ass. I'm fucking 42 years old. Like fucking, if he thinks he can fucking take this old lion, you know what I mean? I'll fucking put that little fucking white boy on his ass. And I'll teach him a
Yeah.
lesson, and all the MMA community would be so happy.
Fuck yeah.
Because
Put
he's
that out
fighting
there,
all
bro.
guys.
Maybe he'll watch this show and fucking sign you up. That would be the
Yeah,
shit.
they sign me up. Be like, oh, Cabbage. Oh, he's 215 pounds now. I'll fight him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll fuck that white boy up. Because Because he's fighting guys that he's fighting fucking old overweight fucking wrestlers, you know, like
Yeah.
basketball players, and building the hype off of that, you know. And I'm just like, I mean, he's doing a lot to like try and get the fighters more money, but just the disrespect that he's showing to like people that work super hard in the community and doing that stuff is just like, I feel like that disrespect is time to put his ass in check and just put him in with a fucking old school veteran and let that fucker wipe his ass all across the match, you know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Hear it first, bro. If that ever happens, we're gonna be front row, John.
Right. Gotta be front
Take
row
my
for
money.
that one.
Let me get that pay-per-view. Take my money.
Fuck yeah.
Right. Hell yeah.
All right, question of the week. Let's go back to more MMA stuff. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened in the fight?
Was my riot in the UFC was when I fought Tank. So when I fought Tank Abbott, I finished the fight. I cut him open because he kept on trying to wrestle me. I wanted to box him, but he kept on trying to wrestle and take me down, you know. So I established the Muay Thai clinch because I was training at the time was with Alex Gong, who passed away right before I fought. God rest his soul, you know. He was helping me get ready for that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bro. Fairtex. I watched it fight. I was a fan of him.
Fairtex F14.
He chased somebody down because they cut him off, and then he got shot.
Was at his gym that he was training at the gym. Somebody came and sideswiped his car, and so he ran out of the gym while his stuff. He took off his gloves and he chased the guy. The guy stopped at the red light, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" The guy pulled out a gun, shot him, and then the guy ended up holding up in a motel and ended up killing himself like later on in the stuff. But like, I was just with the guy like 3 weeks. 3 weeks we were training.
San Francisco. Huh?
No, we were in Vegas at the UFC gym. Dana had him come in to help me train for the Tank fight.
No, when he got shot was in San Francisco.
Yeah, when he got shot was in San Francisco. But when I was training with him was in Vegas. And like I went back to Hawaii to go see my family, like was 7 days before the fight. And he went to San Francisco, and right in that 7 days, right before the fight, boom, he got shot.
Sorry, bro. I sorry to bring that up. I just haven't heard his name in a long time.
That's why I got my shorts. I got my shorts when I fought Tank. I had the 714 on top, the F14 on top of my shorts. Because that was his stuff. The F14. That was his nickname.
I seen him fight Dwayne Ludwig at K1 in Vegas one time.
Yeah.
And that was Alex Gong. I was a fan of that guy.
Yeah.
That guy was badass.
So back to
the
right.
Go ahead.
So back to the right. Yeah. So right after I cut him open, the ref checked him, you know, the doctor stopped the bleeding, asked him, "You all right?" "I cannot see," you know. John McCarthy came up to me, he's like, "Young blood, you just made this guy give up. He doesn't want to fight you. He's saying over there he cannot see it. Doctor stopped the bleeding, this and that, you know. So you're gonna be the winner of the fight." I was like, okay. Boom. So when he went and then he asked Tank again, Tank said he couldn't see. So John McCarthy waved it off. Right there, I was like, I had to bust on my Cabbage patch because that was like the biggest fight of my career, you know what I mean? So I did the Cabbage patch and the camera was on me. They didn't see Tank's corner guy flip me off and whip the water bottle at me. And that's what made me go from doing the Cabbage patch and so me going, "Fuck you," you know?
Yeah, I remember that.
Tank guy's corner tried to rush me, and like I had so much guys that had love for me. Like there were guys from the fucking crowd jumping over the cage trying to back me up, you know? Like the big white guy that jumped over the kind of shaved head white guy.
Yeah.
He jumped over the cage. We don't even know who he was. You know what I mean? Chuck Liddell didn't know who he was. So Chuck was in my corner. You know what I mean? My dad was in the ring when the whole thing went off. My dad was like, "I'm out of this fucking shit." He went out. My dad was out of the cage. Like we almost had like big riots and shit like that, you know? So that was crazy. Like I'm surprised they didn't put anything into motion to stop that after that happened, you know? Like when it happened with Khabib and Conor, you know, that huge little commotion afterwards. After they had that little riot with me, I'm surprised they never took steps into motion to like into precautions into that kind of stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was watching that when it happened, like on TV, and you was Cabbage patchy, and all of a sudden you was like, "Fuck you," and then it's just a big. Then I remember Chuck Liddell coming in. I'm like, "Bro, this is real, bro. This is."
Chuck Liddell jumped over, Mike B jumped over. You know what I mean? All the Hawaii guys were just down to scrap, you know. And we even had a couple mainlanders down to scrap with the Hawaii guys to fucking back the Hawaii guys up, you know.
Oh, that's a mean story.
And it was just competition. It was just because we was hyping the fight, you know what I mean? Like walking out to the ring, I stopped by Tank's dressing room. I said, "Get ready to cash your last check from the UFC, fat fuck." And I walked away. You know what I mean? And I went into the cage. I just wanted because me, I used to like playing those mental mind games that Muhammad Ali used to like playing. If I could get into your head before the fight, like you're not gonna be the same fighter that I'm gonna fight, you know? Your game plan is gonna go out the window. You're gonna be careless because you're gonna be so angry that you can just like try to knock me out, that you can be careless, like I can pick you apart.
Plus, he's always smiling and
I was just so relaxed. Like even like when Chuck Liddell used to come in the corners before, and my dad was in the locker room, he told my dad told me this before he passed away. He's like, Chuck Liddell used to always tell me, hey, I wish I could be as relaxed as your son is before fights. Because I used to get my headphones on, the legs up on the wall, kicking back, like right before my fight, like my hands taped up and everything. I'm just lying down, kicking back, looking at the ceiling. I used to watch like battle scenes. Like I used to watch Gladiator, the parts that used to push them over the edge. You know, I watched Braveheart, the parts that pushed them over the edge. I watched Patriot, the parts that pushed them over the edge. Like in Gladiator, when they killed his wife and his kids, you know, that pushed him to that point. And like Braveheart, when they killed the love of his life and pushed him to the point of being like, you know what, fuck these guys, you know. And like in Patriot, when they killed his son, you know, and he was like, oh, now I'm gonna get, because at first in Patriot he was like super humble, and then when they killed his son, then he went back into that fucking ghost that he was, you know. And that's that. I always used to watch that before my fights and just get into that zone and just get ready to do battle. I was just like, okay, it's either kill or be killed, you know.
Bruh, that's unreal, dude. I cannot believe you came on my show. I'm pretty stoked that you're here.
Right. Anytime.
Shoots, well, can wrap it up. How can people find you on Instagram and stuff like that?
My Instagram is at Cabbage, Wesley Cabbage Correira, and they can come look me up on Instagram or on Facebook. I'm just under Wesley Correira.
And then they can find out more information about your gym once it opens.
Yeah, I'll be posting flyers and stuff about my gym when it's gonna open and stuff like that, coming closer to the date of opening.
Okay, and we'll repost for you, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna start pumping it up and stuff like that before the like maybe a week or two before the stuff. But I'm gonna let everybody enjoy get everything for Halloween and everything, and start posting a week before Halloween. Just let everybody know that after you guys eat all the candies, you guys can come and work that shit off, you know.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Right. And after Thanksgiving, you guys can come work it out again.
Oh, that's good. And then like for Christmas, people can, like, New Year comes, it's a new start, everybody gonna want to get into a gym. That would be perfect.
And I'm even gonna be doing privates too. If people are open to do privates, if they're not comfortable training if they want to do more one-on-one coaching, then I'll be doing privates on like the weekends. Oh,
good for you, bro.
Yeah.
All right. And you can find John on Instagram, Boyband John, BBJ8, the letter 08 on Instagram. Go at him. He has some crazy videos, and his 808 scene is coming out on Olelo. It's music, and it's something that he's passionate about and been doing it previously, and he's bringing it back. So go check that out. It starts on the 24th, right? Yeah, so watch it on Olelo the 24th at 9:00 is the first episode, huh? Yeah, I seen that, bruh. So watch that 808 scene. That's Boyband John's passion.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, super cool. And you can find me on Instagram, Thaddy Daddy High. Of course, atbpod.com and Above the Bridge podcast on Instagram and YouTube. Other than that, hey man, we've been a fan of you for a while, and glad to see how you're doing. And I'm super stoked you came on, and
much more.
Yeah, it was a super cool conversation, bro.
Anytime. I'm always open to do interviews with you guys. Anytime. You guys super cool. Yeah.
We'll do it again, like after a year or so, once your gym's open and we see how you're doing. And
yeah, definitely. We could do a recap or something. Yeah, definitely. Be down. Hell yeah.
Right on. Shakas for the cameras. Right on.
Thank you for having me on Above the Bridge podcast. Yes, sir.
Right on. Aloha. And shout out to the Artist Group Network. We're out. Aloha.
Cheers.